Here's what a lot of good developers do. They develop using their own money. And good developers have deep pockets. And great developers make it happen, whether or not they've got deep pockets or not, it doesn't matter. And I have seen this many a times. Early 2012, I got into a development which was a development of 21 units on 1 acre block. And I got into that development. I just started into property development, and I paid somebody $100,000 to be part of that development. And they said, okay, now you're part of the development, you've got a stake in the development, now start coming for the meetings with the town planner and so on. So I went to the meeting with the town planner, and in the first meeting I knew in an instant that I'd made a mistake, because these people had all the money in the world to develop a 1 acre site with 21 units on them, but they had no clue what they were doing. They were basically just saying yeah to what the town planner was saying. They had no idea whatsoever. They had 2 years to settle on this. They had not done anything. They had got a permit for 21 units, only to realize that they could go 40 apartments on the same site, and that would have maximized their leverage. So basically they paid for the full development application, got the unit permit for 21 units, and now they were thinking that they will go 40 apartments and they'll go for a full-on amendment. It's basically when you want to change from 21 units to 40 apartments, it's not an amendment. It's basically a new application. That means the application would go into advertising all over again. The whole thing was going to happen again. And then they were thinking, if you go 40 apartments, you're going to have a lot of objections. And somehow, somewhere, I knew that this was wrong. I had gone to the wrong place. I put my money in the wrong hands. And luckily, I had this option to pull out of that deal. And I pulled out, got my money back. And I kid you not, since early 2012 till late 2014, they didn't have a permit for 40 apartments. And it had been 4 years. They had a 2 years settlement, and 2 years had gone by after they had settled to be able to get a permit. Now, these are people with deep pockets. They've got all the money in the world, and they think they can do bigger developments and everything, but they have no clue how it is done. So make sure that you're not one of them. You are not a good developer. You are a great developer. And great developers understand the 4 ingredients for becoming a no money down deal maker. And it's different. It's there's psychology of doing no money down deals, and then there are strategies for doing no money down deals. And I cover both of them in my full course. But I'll give you just a glimpse of what it is. You gotta have passion. You gotta be it's critical for you to be able to influence others. If you haven't got passion, you won't be able to influence others. And I'm talking genuine passion. Have you ever been to a seminar or some place where someone was trying to pitch you? They were doing all the right things, but somehow it wasn't ringing your bell. And the reason when that happens is because their passion, they're subconsciously, they haven't got that passion, but on the outside they're doing all the right things that should make you buy. But somehow your subconscious also picks up on their lack of passion. So you got to make sure that your passion is genuine and intrinsic, because if it's not, other people's subconscious will pick it up, and you won't understand why you're not getting it even after you are doing all the right things. So make sure your passion is genuine. It's basically transfer of pure energy. People will absorb it. They become more positive. They begin to perform better, and they become more proactive and more willing to work as a team if you've got true passion. So develop a true belief and conviction in what you do. Just a little bit of caution that you've got to understand. Don't excuse extra caffeine or excitement with passion. So don't think that if you've got 2 shots of long black, you can actually go and say something with passion. And true passion does not need to be enforced. So you don't really have to do anything; it just comes out. So make sure you've got that. True confidence comes from knowing that you have the tools, the resources, the ability to do the job that is expected of you. And confidence is motivated by a sincere desire to help others and to make a difference. And this builds power, and power is not force, it creates trust. It strengthens and it enables. Caution, don't let negative thoughts get you. I explained that at the beginning of this video series as well. Indecision about purpose, lack of research or credible information, you worry unnecessarily. There is a fine line between being confident and coming across as arrogant, cocky, or condescending. So make sure that your confidence is not it's not any of these things. So what you must do is take feedback or criticism. Spend more time listening than talking. Admit that you are wrong when you are wrong, and ask questions to demonstrate concern. So make sure that you do all of these things to get the confidence that you want. Congruence is the same. You got to walk your talk. It's the same thing that I discussed in passion. That if someone's faking it, your subconscious will pick it up, even if they're doing all the right things on the outside. So agreement and harmony between what you say and what you do are paramount to instilling trust. Tell the truth, be consistent, and know what you believe. And always remember that a tree is judged by the fruit it bears, not the fruit it talks about. So optimism comes from when it is backed by research. Optimism tells you that your problems are only temporary or can be overcome, and pessimism tells you that they are permanent and there's no way out. So if you're doing a deal with other people, and you got to be optimistic, because if you are the one who's the negative, driven by negative thoughts, and you've got that all the negative things, then they won't like it, or they will not be comfortable doing a deal with you. So it is more than positive thinking. It is more than constantly saying positive things to others. It is a frame of mind that governs how you look at the world. And if you're optimistic, you will look for a solution. And if you're pessimistic, you will look for everything that can go south. So remember all of this. So basically, either you're part of a problem or you're part of a solution. In other words, caution, watch the way you talk to yourself. And always remember that your past is not equal to your future. So the things you must do: you've got to maintain credibility, be sincere in all your interactions and transactions, be authentic, and maintain constant confidence. When it comes to strategies, yes, there are strategies for doing no money down deals. So the psychology is a big part of it. I think, and you must know all the different strategies. And I discussed that in my property development system, where all the kind of equity and sources of equity that you can get, what is sweat or free equity, and strategies for creating sweat equity, all kinds of JVs, with landowner, with money partner, with builders, or private funding. And there are n number of variations to all of these JVs, because there's not one set rule of doing a JV, and there's so many combinations and variations to the way you can structure a deal, a joint venture agreement with somebody, that unless you know how these different moving parts work with each other, you will not be able to put anything like that together. It is also the ability to be able to put together a project report or a business case for no money down deals, and it is very important. Unless you've got something like that, people won't put any money with you. So make sure, if you want to be a great developer, you understand all of these aspects. Good developers don't have the right tools or the latest resources. They usually know it all. And I can say that for so many people that I've come across, that is not funny. these people say that they know everything, they know what they're doing and everything, but they don't have the right tools, they don't have the right resources. They could be right, but they've got no basis to back it up that they are right. And they could be wrong just as much they could be right. So in property development system, I actually give you all these resources, and I teach you how different resources can be used to get different information that helps you helps you take the next step, and gather more information and start getting more confident with every step, because you've done your research, you've got some facts, some resources, some data to back what you are saying. And if you want to do no money down deals, you'll always have to present these facts, because if you can't, people wouldn't want to do any deals with you. Last but not the least, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. This is just a plank. This is just a image that I've got on my Facebook page. So if you were to become friends with me, you could send me a friend request and I'll accept it. But I've got this written down there, and no matter what I do, because when you start something, you get very uncomfortable, and your mind actually quits before your body does. If you were to do anything new that you've never done in your life before, I guarantee you within the first 30 minutes you will want to quit. And I'll give you an example. I've just started this new exercise regime, and I did it for first 30 minutes. It was a 1 hour exercise routine, and I did it for 30 minutes. I was almost crying. It was like, have you ever done like a cry when you were laughing and crying at the same time? That's the one that I was doing the other day. But I kept telling myself this thing, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you gotta get started to be great. So I wish you all the very best. I hope you enjoyed this good versus great developer series. If you've liked it, do leave your comments below, or send me an email at support@propertydevelopmentsystem.com.au. I always reply to all the emails, so make sure you do send me an email. And I wish you all the very best, and I'll see you on the other side, hopefully.